Well, howdy, howdy. This is Portland Stu here on the Rose City Sorcery channel, doing some commentary for game number 6 of the limited day 1 championship at SorceryCon. These are sealed decks, Gothic sealed, so 6 packs of Gothic. We've got Sam, the host of Rose City Sorcery, playing against Kevin up on top. They're both on Spellslinger decks. Kevin got the turn 1 Open Mausoleum, great turn 1 play, just get a skeleton out. Sam's gonna drop the Accursed Desert, I think not expecting many wards from his opponent and maybe not wanting to break some of his own wards. We can see in Sam's hand there a Holy Knight and a Blessed Village, which are both warded cards that Sam would break his own ward if he played the Accursed Desert after that. Meanwhile, Kevin getting the turn 2 Broomstick Witch. Kevin appears to be in air and fire. I've become a really big fan of Broomstick Witch because it pairs really well with air's exceptional hard removal, which is Kiss of Death, because Broomstick Witch can cast it and can usually move on top of a minion without giving the minion the chance to intercept. So Broomstick Witch, really solid 2-drop here. Sam playing out the Leadworks, which will silence sights until next turn, and then drop in the Lesser Blood Demon, taking the 2 points of life loss to get that 3 power minion on turn 2. Pretty solid tempo play. I often run Lesser Blood Demons, though there can be some downside to it. And you might hear my cat in the background meowing. Sorry about that. We see the Accursed Desert out of Kevin. So good job, Sam, sort of dodging that potential. And Kevin plays out the Searing Truth. Interesting. I'm always torn about including Searing Truth in my limited decks, and here's why. I mean, that's 1 card gained and for 5 damage to the face. Looks like Sam marked the damage on the wrong life counter there, but it's 15 for Kevin to 18 for Sam. So Kevin losing some tempo to play that Searing Truth, losing some life, but 2 solid cards in hand afterwards. I mean, one of those cards would have just replaced the Searing Truth. The Searing Truth really nets you 1 additional card at some serious life loss. The thing that makes Searing Truth probably worth running in most decks is the finisher potential. We see Sam attempt to attack the Witch with the Blood Demon. Kevin points out that that's not valid, but says that they want to block the attack on the site anyways. So jumping with the Witch never feels good. Trading out 1 for none. Then we see, oh, it's a Blessed Well, not a Blessed Village. So it looks like Sam's in fire water. So now, oh, Sam must be playing 3 colors because we saw the Holy Knight in there too. So that's very bold. Sam looks like he drew a sight for turn as well. But if most of your cards have just a single threshold, 3 colors can be viable, and you get that critical mass of 3 or greater power minions. A lot of times that's just what wins in Gothic Limited is, if you can just play a 3 power minion every turn, or more than 3 power, a lot of times you sort of out-tempo your opponent. Kevin, though, really strong play here, drops out the Bound Spirit, which can effectively block all of Kevin's sights because Bound Spirit is disabled if it's not adjacent to a spellcaster. The avatar is a spellcaster, so great positioning for the Bound Spirit. And then moves the skeleton forward. Which makes a lot of sense, because at this point, Sam could play a desert forward and kill the skeleton. A lot of times you want to keep your skeleton back on the back row to avoid losing it to that desert ping, which is still very possible in Gothic, especially if you know your opponent's on fire. So yeah, it looks like Sam's considering his options. I'm not sure exactly what the last site in his hand is, but I think we're about to find out. Okay, so it was a Blessed Village. So both a Blessed Town and a Blessed Village. These sites are not super high value, but they do, you know, slow down your opponent a little, narrow their avenues for attacking your sites, and boards are a resource. Very few cards that use it, but there are some. And I think Sam is debating whether to throw out another 3-drop or put down 2 2-drops. Maybe make the attacks first. Sam could take the swing in on the site to see if he draws the Bound Spirit forward. Instead, Sam's just going to play down the Noxious Corpse. Stacking minions can be really dangerous if Kevin's got the Flame Strike in hand. That's a big 2-for-1 potential, but maybe Sam's planning on moving the horrible hybrids off of that lead works. But no, Sam just leaves everything untapped. Really strong board state for Sam, has the double blocker potential to kill the Bound Spirit and only lose a single minion, which is often a sort of a good strategy for dealing with those 4-power minions, is leaving 2 blockers so that you can still get a 1-for-1 trade. We'll see if Kevin's got a play to counter this strong setup from Sam. The Holy Knight also a real nice option for double block situations. If I had to bet, Kevin playing out the site means probably no Flame Strike in hand, but any sort of simple removal would pay off big right now. Even a Gift of the Serpent on that skeleton to force a trade for one of the 3 minions that can block for the Noxious Corpse could be a good move. But no, Kevin plays out the Corruptor Freak. We know he's got the Bladder Blimp in hand as well, and then a Willing Tribute. So, contesting board state solidly. We've got 4 bodies on board apiece. Attempts to take out the ward on the site, and that moves the Blood Demon. I don't know what that accomplishes really. With Blood Demon off to the side there. Yeah, not much to do. So the Corruptor Freak does 2 damage to its site at the end of turn. So in classic Corruptor Freak style, you lose 2 life the turn you play it, but if your opponent doesn't answer it, they're looking at potentially 5 damage a turn from that 3-drop coming their way. I'm still very torn about Corruptor Freak in general. It seems like a borderline must-answer threat, but there's just so much 3-power minions trading for 3-power minions in this format that a lot of the time it just feels like, you know, you're losing 2 life and ultimately getting the same thing you would get out of like a Hellhounds, which is just a vanilla 3 for 3, 1 threshold. But I do feel like that potential to push damage makes it very tempting. Also, if you can run Corruptor Freak in a deck with your Blessed Villages and Blessed Wells, or any sort of silence site, something like a Silent Hills, then you can kind of dodge that first turn 2 damage, which would be nice. So Sam, I think rightly going to try and make some attacks and plays, see how the board shapes up. The Bound Spirit goes down to 1 life left on it to block. Then we see the Holy Knight attempt to finish the Bound Spirit, and Kevin's debating whether to sack the Willing Tribute in, keep the Bound Spirit around a little bit longer. I mean, the advantage of sacking the Willing Tribute is then you force Sam to give up either the corpse or the Blood Demon. Yeah, so he's going to do that because the Holy Knight's really the least intimidating threat on the board, so you don't mind leaving that around. Corpse kills Spirit. I wonder if Sam will just go Blood Demon for... Oh, he's got the Gift of the Wolf, so really strong there. Gets the Gift of the Wolf, the Blood Demon, kill that. His Blood Demon doesn't die. So I don't know why Sam is putting his Blood Demon in the bin there. Oh, maybe he couldn't afford Gift of the Wolf, I think is what he must have noticed. He didn't have the 2 Earth threshold required. So yeah, I just had to trade out the Blood Demon, but very strong turn for Sam. Definitely coming out on top on the board state after that, even with the Gift of the Wolf reveal without being able to play it. We see Kevin tapping the Spellslinger. I think that's maybe a mistake because he's just playing a minion. Clay Golem, a really interesting card in this format. 4 mana for 3 power. Doesn't feel great, but that ramp that you can get from it. So when Clay Golem dies, it has a death right that you get to play the top site of your Atlas to an adjacent void or rubble. In my experience, I run Clay Golem a lot. I like not having to worry about threshold with it. And my experience, I'd say about 50% of the time I play Clay Golem, I get that proc off of it. But just 4 mana for a 3 power that doesn't have to worry about threshold, I think is often playable to me, just because you want that critical mass of 3 powers, especially in sealed, where you have a lot less control over the cards that end up in your pool. Sometimes you just have to play Clay Golem to hit your curve. So yeah, not an incredible turn for Kevin, but he's got the bigger body. So drops the Clay Golem, passes. Sam draws a spell, and then looks to be tapping to play Autumn Bloom. So now he's got the Gift of the Wolf available. He's going to give the Spellslinger a free sight if he uses the Gift of the Wolf. But probably worth it. Just time to start pushing the advantage. Oh, he does the 2, and looks like he's not going to play the Gift of the Wolf. No, okay, he's rethinking it. He does go for attacking on the back row, no block, and then drops out the zombie horde. A surprising no block to me. I guess Kevin really wants to be able to get that trigger on the Clay Golem, maybe. It also looks like they missed the 2 damage by the looks of it from the Holy Knight. But that's sorcery. If we're not missing a couple triggers or playing a misplay here and there, then it's not sorcery. I mean, ideally we don't have that happen, but this is such a complex game that it is really hard to properly track everything on the board. And, you know, maybe when we're a few more years into the game, we'll have developed a better habit of that. But for now, we just have to accept that, you know, maintaining board state is the responsibility of both players, and they do what they can. Seems like Kevin's debating long and hard about a play. We know he's got the Bladder Blimp in hand. But does he have an answer to the zombie horde? Because the zombie horde will end the game on its own if it goes uncontested for a turn or two. And I'm guessing doesn't have a strong answer for it. Yep. So he just does the 3 to the zombie horde to proc the sight death right, getting out a 6th sight. He's 3 and 3 on thresholds. Seems decent. Oh, that works. Okay, so he drops out the Zeppelin of Zealots. He needed that 3rd fire to hit it. Zeppelin of Zealots is 5 mana, 4 power, comes in with a ward, and while it has ward, it also has airborne. So this means that currently the Zeppelin can block anywhere that the zombie horde could attack, which I think is important right now for Kevin staying in the game. Though it's not enough power to kill the zombie horde, which is less than ideal. So draws out the block by drawing it out in that location. Oh, Sam has the option of double swinging onto it to clear the Zeppelin, but he's not going to. He's just going to push more damage, which seems pretty reasonable. I would probably do the same. I think it's really supposed to be 5 life at this point, not 7. And what's his next trick? I mean, I think just playing another threat, maybe somewhere a little safe would be good, or playing a blocker that can handle the Zeppelin. Just charges him for 3 more. There we go. That means if any 2 minions stay alive, there's serious door potential. This is going to be a hard... Oh, and we can see in Sam's hand a Gift of the Wolf and a Smite. I think Sam wisely holding on to that Smite for potential death blow usage, but the Gift of the Wolf will allow almost any minion on Sam's board to trade with basically anything, except for some really wild bombs that Kevin might play. So we'll see if Kevin can pull something out. He definitely can clear a minion with the Zeppelin. Probably play, I mean, we know he's got the Bladder Blimp that could play as a chumper, but the Bladder Blimp costs you life if it dies near your sights. Bladder Blimp's death right is, I think each nearby site causes its owner to lose 1 life when Bladder Blimp dies, so I don't think Kevin can really afford to use Bladder Blimp as a chump blocker, but maybe as a blocker for one of the 2 powers. So he of course knows about the gift of the wolf in hand for Sam. So looking like a pretty strong position for Sam. I'm not sure what everyone's record is going into this, but you know, a 4-2 record basically guarantees you day 2. So he ignited and Zeppelins to clear the zombie horde. That's 2 mana spent with 5 remaining. Seems like all the threshold. The only card that requires more threshold he might be running is the Archangel. Angry Mob detonate? Interesting play. I mean, that's 4, 5, that's all mana spent, and you're at door. So this is game over. We'll watch the end of it, but at this point, Sam can just start walking forward with the Avatar. He's got guaranteed door and a kill spell in hand as long as he can get an ally adjacent to Kevin's Avatar. So I expect to see Sam just walk forward, because the Avatar could even deal the death blow if it needs to. Great positioning on those 2 minions so that either way that Kevin might run, he's got someone in range to smite for the kill, and he's gonna play nothing, which is interesting. He must not have a minion in hand. I would even be tempted to just cycle the Gift of the Wolf in that scenario, just to try and get one more minion on board to really seal the deal if you don't have a minion in hand. But he probably also feels pretty confident that he's going to be able to close out the game. Yeah, and that's it. Kevin plays a blocker, passes turn, but there's a smite in hand, and I think that's all she wrote. Smites for the win, and congrats to Sam on taking that final round of day 1. This was a really fun event. You know, playing sealed pools in Gothic can be really swingy. I know both Sam and I were not super happy with what we pulled. Obviously, Sam running a 3-color deck means a less than ideal spread. Oh wow, it looked like Kevin had some really good bombs in there. A Stitched Abomination and a Legion of Gaul, both really hard to deal with cards. But Sam was able to get the pressure on and keep it on. And that's a lot of what can win these Gothic games. You know, if no one has one of the busted avatars, a lot of the time it just comes down to bodies on board, keeping that pressure on, having slightly more minions out so you can get the better trades. So yeah, really well played by both players, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. We've got a lot of gameplay coming down the pipe from Rose City Sorcery, so if you like watching gameplay content, definitely like and subscribe to Rose City Sorcery, and you'll get more than you could ever feasibly watch. We've got so many events that we're working on putting together commentary for. I'm really excited to do another one of these limited games, and then we've got constructed games from a couple different constructed events as well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and catch you next time.